Okay, this says, Dear Helen, first of all, thank you. I so appreciate you sharing your satsangs online and addressing our humanly questions that are often avoided in teachings. I do have a great confusion concerning the topic of desires and decided to write to you. I've been questioning a painful belief, or rather a fear, that I will not get what I want. It brought up many painful outlooks on life, a man-woman relationship, suppressed yearning for experience of love, safety, support, and a deep belief that goes with it that life is suffering. It feels painful that even if we get what we want in the outer world, all of it is fleeting in the end, and therefore includes suffering in its base. It goes hand in hand with spiritual truths that arose as well in this questioning: suffering of the ego, suffering of wanting something outside of you. I can even hear Adyashanti's voice telling me it's okay to have desires, but when you get tired of suffering, let me know. I have an experience in being in the flow of life where desires ceased, as each moment is simply not lacking. I also understand what I'm seeking is an inside experience and may come in other forms. I remember Byron Katie once saying that the most painful belief of patients dying in hospice centres from AIDS was, I want to go home. I really got that and got how thoughts of resisting what is makes us suffer. But I listened to one of your satsangs today, and a woman was questioning you on the extinction of polar bears and her suffering desire for it not to be so. You told her to question that, since if she is everything, can she know she can't have that? Isn't that suffering in its base? I am so confused. I would appreciate any pointers for me on how to proceed with this questioning, and also your own sharing of this inquiry. Right now, I feel that desiring is the sad truth of ego's life, and my only hope is to see beyond it. At the same time, I want to be healthy. I want a life partner and financial adequacy, all of which I don't have and greatly wish for. Much love. So desire is a topic for me that really confused everything. It was very confusing, and that's why sometimes, or quite often, I talk about it, because it really was very deeply misunderstood by me. And if we look at desire in its pure nature, when we have a desire in its purest form, we are without any beliefs in the way of that desire. When we just have a desire for something, whatever it is at all, that desire is felt with pure excitement, a sense of anticipation. Ask any kid on Christmas Eve, and they won't be able to go to sleep because they're so excited. They have this intense desire, and they don't even know what that is for. They might not know what they're getting the next day. This is desire in its essence: excitement, anticipation. Something good is coming. That's the essence of desire. When desire doesn't feel that way, which of course we're all so much more used to, most human beings have desire hooked up with pain and suffering, as you pointed to here, that they might even be seen as the same thing, that I want something, whether it's financial adequacy or a relationship or awakening. If it's hooked up to some suffering, some beliefs of why it can't happen, then it's going to be inherently painful. And the amount of beliefs we're believing about that desire as to why we can't have it is indicated by the amount of pain. So I might have a desire and feel sadness or grief or even apathy. There's really no point in me wanting this. And I might begin to suppress my desires because it's easier than feeling this pain. So rather than desire itself being the issue, I found that it was the beliefs that were getting in the way of the desire itself. I would never suffer with the desire itself, but only the reasons I was telling myself that I couldn't have it. And those reasons make a lot of sense as a separate being. isolated and alone, powerless in the world. As the infinite self, are those reasons still valid? As the omnipotent, omniscient, pure awareness, are those reasons still valid? And in the example you quoted, desire, when you get tired of suffering, let me know. Well, for me, that was really pivotal. Why am I suffering with desire? Why do still some desires feel very exciting and some feel very depressing? What's the difference there? The word desire, when you look at the root of it, it means to give birth to. Something is going to come of that desire, from that desire. Or perhaps more truly said, that desire that I'm feeling is indicative that something is already in the process of becoming. It's happening out here and it's happening in here as this feeling of want. And the pure feeling of want isn't painful on its own. Only if I feel I'm not worthy, not ready, not able to have it, or if I'm referencing all the previous times I didn't get what I want, when I thought I was a separate being, then I'll feel that I can't have this, and I'll feel the desire will feel painful. Looking at desire purely in itself, it's not an issue in and of itself. And especially if we get really, really down to the basics, do you really want financial adequacy, a life partner, and to be healthy? Or, and of course you want those too, but do you really want how you'll feel when you have those? How will you feel when you have those that you don't think you can feel now? If I had to really look at my desires, what do I really want? Do I really want awakening? Or do I actually just want how it will feel when I have that? And then the question became, why can't I have that now? So drilling down my desires, distilling them down to how I want to feel. Every desire came back to a feeling. And then life can give us these outer circumstances, the right partner, the health of the body that we want, and all of that, the awakening, as outer agreement with the inner feeling that's already here. So it's not like, okay, I have to renounce everything in the world so that I can have this feeling in here. It's that all that stuff can only come when I've reconciled what this desire really is. So what do you want? And keep asking, why do I want it? Why do I want this? What do I feel it would give me that I don't feel I have right now? Every time I asked myself that, it came back to this question, this feeling rather. I want to feel, because I will feel this way, because I will feel that way, and I don't feel that way right now, was the revelation from that. And then looking at that deeper. So this desire to want to go home, is that desire in itself painful? You've mentioned this, just want to finish on this. People dying in a hospice from AIDS, this real strong desire to want to go home. Is that what was painful? Or was it the belief that they're not already there? Again, we have to separate the desire from the belief that doesn't seem to be allowing it. That's what causes the pain with desire. Desire is actually a very pure, high energy. Right now, we desire to be in the satsang. We desire to take another breath. All of manifestation moves through desire. And in manifestation, you cannot get away from it. Yes, in the unmanifest pure aspect of awareness, there is no desire or anyone to desire anything. But we also have a human body and a life, and that's going to be full of desire. So just unpicking the desire from the beliefs that are in the way of it, and then getting really clear on what you want. Really clear. Why do I want it? Okay, why do I want that? Why do I want enough money? Well, because I'll feel more relaxed then. And why do I want to feel more relaxed? Because I'll feel better. So I did this with every one of my desires until I got back to the feeling, and I focused on why can't I feel that feeling right now? And then slowly at first, but then an avalanche of things began to happen. In fact, everything I'd ever wanted and not allowed myself began to show up, but only as an agreement with how I was already feeling inside. If having this thing or this person is going to make me feel a certain way, and I'm feeling in pain right now inside, how can this ever come and agree? I can only have outer circumstances that also agree with my pain. So I hope that is, it's a huge topic, Desire, and we could definitely talk about it longer, but Christina's been waiting a while. Sorry, Christina, whenever you're ready.